Crime Cuisine. See, I did it again. Crime Cuisine. There we go.
Good job. Welcome to Crime Cuisine, where today's menu is as notorious as it is tasty. We're diving into a savory spread of gangsters whose infamous nicknames were as delicious as their crimes were nefarious. Settle in as we unfold four intriguing, mouth-watering tales of crime served with a generous helping of dark humor and historical intrigue.
Okay, so this episode is really fun. We're going to have to come back to it because initially, when you first had this idea, we were talking about the gangsters and stuff that they did for the TV show Face Off, which most of them turned out to not be real. And then, like, when I first started looking into this, I didn't think there was going to be as many of them.
There is a lot.
But then you got to think about, like, Italians and their relationship to food, and then it dawns on you, of course, why would there not be? So, there's so many of them, and it was really hard to pick and choose. But then there's also a lot of them that are, like, kind of the same. So it kind of makes me want to do another episode later on and figure out where some of the stories got crossed or if there was just people doing the same things. Because I found a couple different ones. One of them I'm going to read about today that takes place in Chicago, but the same thing supposedly happened in New York with like two other different mobsters doing the same. I mean, if you think about it, being a butcher and working for the mob.
Yeah, you're
So I
probably
wonder if
gonna
it
get
was just
something.
like it was that time period of the world when they were like, all right, we're just gonna take over a bunch of butcher shops and chop up all of our people.
I mean, I hate to say it worked, but it worked for a little bit. I mean, you gotta think there's even some places even around here, like that place is a front. It don't matter how good their bread is. Don't walk into the back.
So what do you got?
Okay, so I have two. Now I did a little differently. I didn't do the guys I originally wanted to, so yeah, we're definitely have to come back to them. But the two guys I have are actually legitimate chefs. They're also bad guys, but like they're chefs.
Gordon Ramsay.
So, first guy I got, all right. His name is Antonio Kozo Nasty.
Cusco?
Cusco. He's very nasty.
Poison for Cusco.
So, I'm gonna butcher all of the Italian in all of these cases because just don't come at me. So, born in a town near Naples, Kozo Nasty was part of the Millardo clan. I know this is gonna get real rough.
The name Nasty.
Nasty.
He's nasty.
Nasti. Like, yeah, there's no, like, I can't work around it.
He's a nasty boy.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, so he's part of the Millardo clan. Will you grow up? How old are you? Let it out. We're gonna have to cut this.
No, I'm not, because it's part of the glory of it, because I'm laughing at his name.
Oh my gosh. It's okay. He's not a great person. Okay.
No, you're right. He's a nasty.
Anyways, a full sentence into my story.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Anyways, he's part of a Camorra Mafia network, and they're notorious for extortion, weapon trafficking, and
Traveling.
I can't read. Trafficking.
He's a nasty boy that truffles.
Anyways, and funneling dirty money, so, they do bad things. Clearly.
Typical mob shit.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, so he rose through the ranks, earning a reputation as I'm gonna butcher this is an Italian, but the English translation is dangerous element. Bum, bum, bum.
Wasn't that movie with Bruce Willis?
No, this guy was probably in it, though. Alright, so he's deeply involved in armed robbery and illegal arms, so he liked guns. So, are you ready? In 2012,
Ooh.
he was caught in a gang of 5 during a botched bank raid. So the getaway was a high-speed chase through fields ending with a shot Rottweiler, which is awful, and 27,000 pounds in cash. That's like the dollar, but a pound.
Yeah.
Found with them, right? So 27,000 pounds and a shot Rottweiler. So he was convicted for robbery, receiving stolen goods, carrying weapons. He got 16 years behind bars. All right. Now, in 2014, under house arrest in a rehabilitative community, Kozo Nasty did something rather unmob-like.
Rather nasty.
So he escaped. Oh my goodness. So no dramatic shootout. He just walked away. And from that moment, he just vanished into Europe somewhere. Just vanished. So Italian police followed up tips into Germany, the UK, and eventually France, where he'd quietly built a whole new persona. Okay? So, under the new alias of Nunzio Palumbo, nailed it, he landed in Saint Raphael, which is near the Canes, and became the head chef at Hotel Le Touring's upscale restaurant Alberto. His culinary reputation, stellar. So he was known for a very, very infamous dish called Polpo alla Luciana, nailed it, which is octopus cooked with tomatoes, olives, and capers. I have the recipe. I will be adding it.
That sounds nasty.
It was his signature thing. Ridiculous. Anyways, I have this recipe, and I'm actually either putting it in the comments. I'm putting it in here somewhere. This is what he was known for.
Yeah, we'll put it in.
Yeah.
And it'll be on the website when I get that back up.
Nice. So the restaurant director praised his rustic, authentic Italian traditions. Like, just loved it. So mafioso in the kitchen, no one suspected a thing until they did. In May of 2022. Okay?
So
Real recent. 3 years ago.
he got away with it for 6 years.
So
Gordon Ramsay was its downfall. He landed on Kitchen Nightmares or some shit, and Gordon Ramsay was like, "Oh, you mafioso, you're a nasty boy."
anyways, in May of 2022, so backed by European policing initiatives, they got him at dawn in his apartment near Canes. So they got him. No dramatic resistance. He reportedly offered his wrist to handcuffs with a shrug. I understand. It's over.
Who snitched on him?
So he now awaits extradition to Italy to serve the remaining 5 years and 9 months of his sentence. So
That's it.
That's where we're at right now. We're still waiting. So we'll have to get an update on how this guy's doing. But yeah, he did some bad shit. And then he escaped to become a very notorious chef in France, where he was just caught in his apartment. He was just kind of like, I guess you got me. Good job.
Here's a little bit of a controversial take on a subject, in my opinion.
Oh.
I feel like, okay, I get the whole statute of limitations thing and how, some crimes after they're not punished for so long are just not punishable. I feel like people who manage to escape prison, I feel like that should be a thing too. Mm-hmm. Like, if they don't catch you after so long, you obviously, like, if you haven't, like, done anything to draw attention to yourself, obviously you're not committing crimes, especially in today's age, because it's hard to fucking do anything without getting caught. There's cameras everywhere, and everything's listening.
I'm honestly shocked he did what he did, because, like, he escaped... Or no, he initially got arrested in 2012. He escaped in 2014. And then no one found him again until 2022. He was just completely gone for almost 10 years. And from what I gathered, he didn't commit any crimes. He just solely dived into being a chef. Which
goes more to my point. The dude made it that long and nobody fucking knew about it. And then he was just like, yeah, well, it's over. Just when you go to court, just be like, you know what? You were out there for fucking 10 years and you're a famous chef now, so clearly you've turned your life around. It's not going to do us any good to ruin the life that you've turned around and put you back in prison. Because then that's going to just ruin what you did. And then when you get out, guess what? You're probably going to go back to doing your old shit, working for the mob and killing people.
You know what I wonder? Nice plot twist would be he's supposed to serve a little over 5 years. What if he went back, served his 5 years, came out, and then went back to the restaurant and then defeated Gordon Ramsay in some, like, super intense something? I don't know. It sounds good.
Joke's on you. This is Gordon Ramsay's backstory.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have octopus
Yep.
recipes going on.
I'm not going to lie. It looks so good. I looked it up. It looks so good.
And how funny that you do that whenever one of the shorts that we posted was about the law. Speaking of which, next episode, Crazy Food Laws. That'll be episode 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus. Now I forgot. Oh yeah, the octopus, because there's a crazy food law in Japan. Somebody tried to sue somebody because they ate octopus, and like their friend ate an octopus and choked on it and died, and then the judge was just like, you know what? It was alive. You tried to eat it while it was alive, and it defended itself. So nope, nothing wrong with that.
Ugh.
So if you eat an octopus and you die, it's ruled involuntary suicide.
I wonder if they say the same thing about the pufferfish. And isn't that the one that like only so many cooks know how to do?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? I wonder.
Well,
Pufferfish and it kills you?
See, no, I feel like that would be involuntary manslaughter on the chef, because you have to study for like, I think it's like
10 years,
like
minimum.
Like 10 to 20 years or something on how to be able to cut that thing without nicking the poison sac, because if you do, then all the meat's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I mean, that's your professional job, is to make sure that nobody dies while eating it. It's kind of the same thing as like it's your professional job to do, like if you're running a zip line or something and somebody dies, the company and the person still get in trouble for it. So
well, I guess that's where kind of the difference is between those two things, because octopus, you don't necessarily, well, in that instance, I don't even think they cook it. They just put it in.
Yeah, they put it on a plate and you eat it raw.
I don't think I could bring myself to eat octopus.
There's a little baby octopus you just
found. I'm gonna start gagging.
So, yeah. Who's your next chef? Is he a nasty boy?
No. Are we doing to me?
Yep.
All right. So this next guy, he is not a nasty. So his name is, his Italian name is Sabatino Antonio Gambino.
Sal Volcano?
Yep. AKA Chef David Ruggerio.
Why does that name sound familiar?
So, David Ruggerio, born Santonio Antonio Gambino. That kind of makes me think of that guy from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody that had like 10 names. Loved that man. So he was born June 26th of 1962 in Brooklyn, New York. Big Apple. So he's an American chef, author, and a television personality. His father, Saverio Gambino, was a cousin of the notorious mob boss Carlo Gambino. So he is one of those Gambinos. Okay? So Ruggerio honed his culinary skills in France, training at esteemed establishments such as the Hotel Le Negresco with Jacques Maxime, who is a big deal, and a handful of other really impressive chefs. Like he got like 5-star training. You can look him up. You know who he is. Ruggerer. There, go down. You look familiar? Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, sorry, got distracted. So at 25, he became the chef at New York's renowned La Cervelle restaurant. He later led Pierre Cardin's New York outpost of Maxime's de Paris, and the iconic Le Chantilly on Park Avenue, earning 3-star reviews from the New York Times for both establishments. So, 3 stars for 2 completely different restaurants. Dude was impressive.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, Ruggerio expanded his reach by hosting, are you ready? Here's how you probably know him, the PBS series Little Italy with David Ruggerio, and the Food Network show Ruggerio to Go. He has also authored cookbooks, including Little Italy with David Ruggerio and David Ruggerio's Italian Kitchens.
And A Wishful Tale of God's Men, A Prison Without Locks, Say Goodbye and Good Night, and A Tomato Grows in Brooklyn.
Dude was impressive. Like, seriously.
Writing books and shit.
Yeah.
So why is he a bad guy?
Okay. Well, so his criminal associations. See, we could have just left it right there and been like, and he lived happily ever after cooking people for people all over.
Cooking people for people?
Cooking things for people.
That was the last episode.
All
Wrong episode.
So, in 2022.
He looks like a mob boss. Just look at that picture.
Yeah, look. See, even that right there says The Life and Confessions of Mob Chef David Ruggerio. Are we putting this on here? We need to. We need to put his picture on here.
I'm just going to do it so it reminds me to do it.
Perfect. This guy's awesome. Okay, so in 2022, right, back to 2022, Ruggerio revealed his involvement with the Gambino crime family, stating that he was inducted in 1977 during a trip to Sicily. He has been a member since 77. Joke's on everybody. So his criminal activities reportedly included heroin dealing, truck hijackings, loan sharking, bookmaking, extortion, and participation in several murders. Okay? Yeah. 3 stars, 2 restaurants. In March of 1978, he was involved in the torture and killing of a man that went by Patty Mac, which is a 56-year-old associate of the Genovese and Colombo families. So his body was discovered in the trunk of a rented car in Brooklyn. Additionally, Ruggerio used his restaurant career to further illicit some activities. He steered lucrative restaurant supply contracts to mob-connected vendors. Hello, what movie have we seen this in? And bribed union officials to keep his kitchens non-unionized. In 1995, he acquired ownership of Le Chantilly by kidnapping his business partner and coercing him into signing over his shares.
Listen, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Dude, this guy, he did it. Now, in 1998, Ruggerio was charged with credit card fraud for inflating customer tips at his restaurant, leading to over $100,000 in restitution, 5 years probation, and 500 hours of community service. This incident resulted in the cancellation of his Food Network show, which, that'll do it.
Credit card fraud is where the Food Network draws the line.
Apparently.
They're like, okay, you can do some stuff. You can kidnap your business partner to get your shares of your business, but as soon as you fraud credit cards,
that's it.
That's too much.
Yep. Now, following personal tragedies, including, very sadly, the death of his son in 2014, Ruggerio distanced himself from the organized crime. He has since focused on writing, publishing novels such as A Wistful Tale of Gods, Men and Monsters, and Say Goodbye and Good Night. I got my hands on David Ruggerio's Coco Van, the 3-star recipe. And we're definitely adding a picture of him, and I'm not gonna lie, we're probably gonna tag his website. This guy is wild.
Yeah, so while she's sitting there reading the story, I just gave a quick Google. I guess just recently, 2022, he started coming back out into the public with stuff. It says on his website, davidruggerio.com, that he did basically a tell-all with Vanity Fair in 2022. It links the article to it. He's got links to his cookbooks and stuff. And also, he has a YouTube channel. So when this episode gets published, we will tag him in it. And interestingly enough, I might reach out to this guy and see if we can have some conversations.
Can I just say,
Just because it'd be cool to talk to somebody like this.
I 100%, now looking at him, I remember his PBS show. I remember watching it. Dude is, which is wild to think that he's got mob connections, because if you just look at him, he doesn't look mobby. I don't know if that's a verb, but...
Yeah, like...
I mean, he looks...
Not so much that picture, but that picture, I mean, just because the Italian guy wearing a gold chain, that's kind of...
That's just a thing some people do. That doesn't mean anything. But, like, and honestly, after having looked him up, dude's got some insane skills. Like, in a kitchen with food, like...
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to look more into this guy, and I think I'm gonna reach out and try to contact and see if we can do like an interview.
My name is David Ruggerio, and I grew up in Brooklyn. It's a tough town, but it has a lot of great people with a million stories.
Like
take me for example.
90s,
Believe it or not,
style.
I was a pro boxer for a while, but I decided to trade in my gloves for a set of oven mitts. My Nona thought it'd be a little easier on my face. She also taught me that no matter who you meet or where you go, there's always one thing people can agree on. You can't have good times without good food. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's the Ruggerio to go.
That's awesome.
Right? He's cool.
So,
my name is David Ruggerio.
I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to his channel every Monday for new adventures weekly, huh? We've got a dog named Luca.
He has a cute little dog named Luca.
And it looks like he's still chefing it up, because that's what his YouTube channel appears to be.
Nice.
Going to different famous restaurants and stuff. So, I mean, it fits right into our little thing. I bet he'd probably be a fan of Crime Cuisine.
Maybe.
So, yeah, check that guy out.
I love his little quote. It says, "First we eat, then we do everything else." That is the most Italian quote ever. First we eat, then we do everything else.
I mean, he joined all the way back in 2012.
I mean, that would make sense.
And apparently he's in the process of writing a memoir. Cool. Well, damn, your shit turned out to be cooler than my shit, because now it could lead into some more new shit.
Because I found a famous person.
Yeah, that we might actually be able to talk to.
Just saying, this guy looks sweet.
How cool would that fucking be?
That would be awesome.
Get to actually talk to somebody that was in the mob and a famous chef.
And
that would tickle my giggles, just because, you know, me being the chef that I am.
Well, and the people he learned from, like, he has so many green check marks next to his cooking career. He has like all of the green check marks. It's impressive. All right, what do you got?
All right, so for me, the main dish and the dessert for tonight, we've got a butcher and a baker.
Yeah.
Phoebe, butcher and a baker. So the first guy I have, this story takes place in Chicago. Tony Bellini's Butcher Shop in 1960s Chicago, Little Italy, appeared to be the quintessential neighborhood establishment offering fresh cut meat and friendly conversations.
Mom and pop place.
But it wouldn't be Crime Cuisine without the but. Behind the sausage counter, Tony was carving up more than steaks. All right? We're talking people. Allegedly.
Didn't we already do this?
No, I did a short about it. Bellini was a trusted associate of a specific Chicago mob outfit, and using his shop as a front for a list of services, including laundering cash, moving firearms, and, of course, he's a butcher disposing of bodies. You know, typical mob shit. So
I feel like he didn't do the what is it, the concrete shoes.
yeah, probably not. I would think it's safe to say some people probably ate some people and didn't know about it. Tony's basement was a macabre sanctuary outfitted with industrial meat grinders and vacuum sealers, which, I mean, you wouldn't think anything of it if it was in the meat shop, but this was in his basement. So, you know,
Bringing work home.
so his place became a suspected mob execution and disposal site because investigators believe that he had been the last person. Several missing informers and informants were known to have been around or seen. So, the age old, well, you were the last person to see this person alive.
So now you're guilty.
So, I mean, there's a reason why they asked that. It might be just this guy. He ruined it for everybody.
Gosh dang it.
According to one unsealed FBI affidavit, a confidential informant described a night when Bellini hosted a private after-hours visit from two hitmen and a man bound in duct tape. By morning, there was no trace of the man in the duct tape, just a stack of shrink-wrapped meat headed out for shipment.
What do you do with the duct tape?
Because that's what you're concerned.
I know where the rest of him went. What? He couldn't find any trace of the duct. What'd you do with the duct tape?
It's mixed in with the meat. It's Taco Bell.
It's
Taco Bell meat.
That's nasty. That's not sanitary.
So, of course, because of that, a bunch of urban legends flourished about the man. It's said that a box marked veal shanks arrived at a Vegas casino kitchen containing a severed human arm, allegedly. While no evidence was ever directly linked to Bellini to the murders, the FBI raid in 1974 turned up enough to make stomachs churn. Hundreds of bone fragments, no sign of pork or other red meats in the walk-in. It was just a walk-in freezer filled with labeled but unidentifiable meat.
You need to label your stuff, man.
That's
like number one.
Yeah, come on.
Number one, label date dots, man.
That's like the thing I'm the biggest stickler over is dates and come on, food safety.
Yeah.
Food safety.
Come on, man, get your shit together.
Anyways, they never brought charges, and the mob had buried the evidence as well as the bodies. But locals dubbed him the Carver of Cicero, a nickname still whispered over slabs of brisket.
Brisket sounds so good.
So his ties to the Meat Packers Union also raised a bunch of eyebrows at the time, and he was known to have fixed several union votes and threatened workers into silence with more than just intimidation. Sometimes he showed up with a meat cleaver. Some claim he once mailed a severed pig's head to a strike leader with a note that simply read, "Next time, it's yours." Or in the words of Bill Goldberg, "You're next." These mafia-connected labor tactics kept his distribution network wide open and unchallenged, ensuring mob cash flowed as smoothly as his meat shipments.
That guy had the ultimate mic drop. I'm not going to lie.
Got away with it all until, after years of his disappearance from public view in the 1980s, Bellini was spotted by a retired FBI agent living under an alias in Sicily, running a small deli in Palermo, but no one could prove it. But the shop bore an uncanny resemblance to his old shop in Chicago, complete with red and white tile, meat slicers from the 60s, and a chalkboard special advertising family cuts, no questions asked.
Mic drop. Although, can I just say, that little deli he had, is probably amazing. No?
Oh.
Making sure it doesn't disappear.
Oh, why are you gonna take it?
I want it.
Is it close?
Yeah.
Okay, take it.
You gonna take 5?
All right. So our final story is Frankie Cupcakes Castile.
I love him already.
Like I said, the butcher and the baker. So Frankie Castile looked like the kind of guy that your grandma would trust to cater her birthday. So, you know, very what's his name?
Duff Goldman?
Yeah, that guy. Very, very that guy, you know?
Okay.
Just your nice casual baker.
I love Duff.
In the late 1970s in Brooklyn, his cupcake shop was the kind of place kids lined up after school for frosted chocolate treats with rainbow sprinkles. But, again, always behind the counter. So just, you know, stay in front of the counter if you don't want to see the bad shit. Okay?
It's just cupcakes.
The back kitchen told a very different story. Frankie was the sweet-toothed capo for a dangerous wing of the DeMio. Hopefully I said that right. Don't find me and kill me, please. The DeMio crew, one of New York's most violent crime families. Again, just like with the butcher, it's a common thing. I guess fucking food places back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s made the perfect front for mob activity.
I'm just saying.
Which makes sense because there's still a bunch of food places around that are like mob fronts.
I'm just saying, while they may have done bad stuff in the back, their food was always phenomenal.
That's true.
So, like, they always had people line up for their shit.
So his store served as a front for, you know, your typical mob stuff. Rackets, debt collecting, and even drug trafficking. Each batch of cupcakes came with a little extra coded message tucked beneath the frosting, or delivered in custom bakery boxes to Mafia affiliates. So, you know, they had their own little code system worked out, just talking. He ran money in cake boxes and stored heroin in flour sacks. So, probably not a good idea there, bud. You're going to kill some of them kids that are coming to your place for cupcakes and stuff when your heroin busts open and gets mixed in with your flour.
I guess that's one way to do that.
One DEA informant claimed that Castile even once used a child's birthday cake to smuggle 10 grand in unmarked bills across state lines.
What?
Yeah. His criminal streak didn't stop with baking. Frankie had a dark edge. A rival baker suspected of cooperating with federal agents mysteriously vanished after a heated confrontation over cannoli territory.
Listen, you don't mess with an Italian's cannolis, alright?
Not drug territory, cannoli territory.
Yep, nope, you don't mess with cannolis. Drugs are fine, don't touch my mama's cannolis.
Weeks later, much in the style of rappers nowadays telling on themselves in songs, Castile added a cupcake called Rival's Revenge Raspberry to the menu. Tell me you killed your rival without telling me you killed your rival. Blood red icing and all. The message wasn't lost on the neighborhood, though.
Very subtle. Very subtle.
In a 1982 wiretap, Castile was caught ordering a hit using nothing more than pastry metaphors, such as ice the guy who keeps melting into my dough.
Got it.
He said that line, coupled with marked bills found in his frosting cooler, led to his downfall. During his trial, the court heard witness after witness after witness describe how the man who seemed obsessed with ganache was actually orchestrating street-level violence and financial ruin. So this guy was just apparently just a giant asshole, but a phenomenal cake baker.
Got it.
Castile was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. His name forever etched in crime lore as Cupcakes the Killer. I don't know if that's, I mean...
It kind of makes you think of Sweet Tooth from You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like, it's like when they call the big guy tiny.
Yeah.
You call the most scary guy who's going to murder you and your whole family a cupcake.
Yep.
That makes sense.
It's almost more terrible.
Post-conviction, investigators uncovered an entire recipe book in his handwriting filled with dessert names that doubled as operation code names, such as Molten Midnight was a cover for weapons trafficking. Lemon snitch bars referred to enemies turned informants. His bakery wasn't just a front, it was a ledger of illicit enterprise disguised in pastry.
I mean, that's pretty smooth, though, just saying. Like, that took a lot of effort to, like, have all those code names and make them almost legitimate baked things.
And to make everybody remember him was the thing, though.
Yeah.
So, even from prison, Frankie tried to keep his empire sweet and running. He reportedly bribed guards with handmade fudge and smuggled out notes written on baking parchment. Though ultimately transferred to a higher security facility, his legend continued to rise, with mob loyalists opening Cupcakes tribute pop-ups in his honor, selling pastries with names like Snitchberry Tart and Mob Meringue.
Meringue.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, I could totally go for a snitchberry tart.
These tantalizing dark tales remind us, behind every sweet nickname, there's often a sour twist of crime with a pinch of intrigue. And in the world of crime cuisine, no dish is ever just what it seems. Dun dun dun.
Although, here's the real question is, so, do you know, is that guy still alive? Your cupcake guy?
I don't. I'll find out now.
Because, you know, it would be really funny. He's totally in prison, making cupcakes, behind bars. Okay, I'll say type in his real name.
No, he died in 2004.
Oh.
But, you know who's still alive? David Ruggerio.
My guy.
We're going to have to, again, try and reach out to that guy. So, that concludes episode 4 of Crime Cuisine, which was titled what?
You're talking about that really cool name I had? I'm getting there. Fugitive Flavors.
Bye!